Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Friday the 3rd of July. So starting off, just running over yesterday's non-farms, they came in slightly better in some respects in terms of the actual numbers. The employment change was up 4,800 as opposed to the 3,037,000 expected in terms of change, positive change. However, unemployment rate still, well, that was still 11.1, but it's better than the 12.4% expected. The claims were up though on a weekly basis, so that was possibly hidden a little bit by the non-farms themselves. The other factor amongst there is the average hourly earnings, minus 1.2, so earnings are being hit overall again, so not necessarily, as I say, mixed, and not certainly in some of the important numbers there, particularly the hourly earnings, what people actually take home effectively, not so good. It's okay, well, I suppose it's better having a job than no job, but at the same time, if average earnings are falling, it's putting pressure, the wrong sort of pressures on the economy. So that was that. Aside of that, well, we've got nothing today. We've got a bank holiday. It's July the 3rd today, so they take the day off because July the 4th tomorrow. So it's a US bank holiday. In the UK, well, there's a bit of data coming out this morning, but it's a final number, so it means pretty. It's unlikely to do anything at 9:30. There we've got final services. But they are known for being pretty soft numbers because they tend to tie up with the original figure that's been put out earlier, the flash figure. So leaving to the technicals, let's just have a look through here. I would imagine it's going to be a quiet afternoon, maybe a bit of volatility around today, but who knows, when the cat's away the mice may play. And looking at the Eurodollar first, and yesterday we popped in another run up towards that trend line that is sitting on my chart here. Looking at the 4 hours, you can see that a little bit clearer. It didn't manage to close above the line. If it had closed above the line, it would have looked a bit more positive. And where it's sitting at the moment, this price action where you see this sort of, well, it's a bearish pivot swing, which just got triggered actually. It's quite a bearish sort of signal quite often. You see these quite regularly. You see continuation from them. So, well, does look a bit weakish. However, there is a lot of underlying support with the euro. We've seen so many taps around where I've dropped this white support line there. We've seen so much around that area. It's pretty key. We have, if markets do come down again, just watch out for the again, there's a trend line I've drawn across the lows here, but also there's the 200 coming up closely behind that, so that might provide some quite strong support there. In fact, it may even give us, if it does come down there, some opportunities on the buy side. So that's the euro. It's a shorter time frame. Well, it looks ugly, doesn't it? At the moment, we sort of had the sort of bearish flag in a flattish market, and well, may roll over. It needs to, for it to be more positive and attractive to trade for me, I'd rather see it above all these key moving averages. And if it's sitting down here, yep, it's put this little pivot swing in on the hourlies here, but it really doesn't look attractive as it sits there for a trade. Okay, the pound, quick flick on this. The pound then, I haven't got the trend line on here, but it did break the trend line a couple of days ago. It's looking like it might have some more legs in it. It really did take a sell-off into that midday bar yesterday. It really sold off, and it's put again this bit of ugliness here. What we've got though is that solid trend line that's been broken, and we've closed above that area, and it's looking, well, reasonably okay. Now, as I say, it was soft yesterday come midday there, but the fact that it's holding up at the moment does make me wonder whether it will just curl its way around. A break of this 50 would be much more clearer, and I'd expect maybe, I say 50, but also watch out for those lows. There's a hell of a support level there around about that 2460 area, so be wary of that. But a break of that may see it come back south, maybe towards the 200. It really is. I'm looking at it. I'm struggling to see, and I certainly don't like the idea that I mean, there is the pivot up above it, which may just catch a few pips post 8 o'clock here, but beyond that, it may struggle. It's just this pattern. Although saying that, it's just maybe in a bottoming pattern. The momentum sort of died out of it somewhat, and we may see it curl round. If it does manage to break above the daily, weekly pivots that are sitting there, maybe yesterday's highs, that sort of R1 area could be on target, but I think you can be struggling a little this morning. And it may be one of those days that cash is a good position. Nothing really to say about this. This is just doji yesterday, and it's not really going anywhere today either, which doesn't make it an easy trade. Aussie, on my book anyway, Aussie is it's looking like it's trying to do something again this morning. It is so spiky. I believe I mentioned this recently, either in a trading room or on an update here. It's how spiky, so you just could not hold on to it. It sort of gets up there in one bar, and then the next bar is either, or even the same bar quite often. It's on this hourly basis, but it's still putting these higher lows in, and it's gradually working its way up. Maybe that could be the mover up there, but it can be horrendously slow throughout the session. Canadian dollar, well, it's gained somewhat here. Let me just come down here. It's put this sort of bearish sort of shooting star in yesterday. That 200 looks like it's called in for price action, and is, well, quite slow and soft here, but it is sitting bang into the 60 minutes 500, and well, it's a Friday with no volume. I would be leaving that alone. So let's have a look elsewhere. Oil, I'm just going to look at this on an hourly basis for now, because you can see the pattern of what's been going on over the last few days. Higher lows coming through. It's been a difficult one in terms of, I generally like to trade oil every couple of days or so when it sets up, but it may be setting up today, but it's a Friday. 41.50 is my sort of, or the prior highs there. We'll come back to that. I'm looking at sort of 41.42, 40, 60 at the top there. So somewhere, well, 41.40 would be it may be something in it, but I'm waiting. Would wait for 2 o'clock for this. But saying that, it's a US holiday, I'd step aside, and it is a Friday, so leave that. After all that. S&Ps, I don't expect too much going on here. We may see the futures running back up, and they may sort of end the week positively. But again, it's a US holiday. It's probably best left alone. So there you go. Not a lot, I think, today. As I say, some days it's better just to sit in cash. That is a position. You're holding your money safely. If there's something that's decisive this morning, of course, we may get a chance. But otherwise, I wish you a good day and a great weekend, and I'll speak to you on Monday.